Round number two. Welcome back to Head Kick Audio. I got a special guest right in front of me here. I got Loai, the Savage Bull, Abushaar, who's going to be competing at RUF 52 February 25th over at the Celebrity Theater in downtown Phoenix. This fight is in Arizona. Your last one was not. We take on James Trinidad. Not too familiar with him, so let's just jump right in. What do we know about James Trinidad that we got to keep an eye on?
Honestly, again, this is kind of like the first conversation that we had. These early pros, man, there's not a lot of information on them. Unless you've had, 10 amateur fights in more recent years, because there's no video proof of a lot of things. I've seen a little bit videos, just very small videos of him here and there, but honestly, there's not a lot of information to base anything, that's concur off of him. So at this point, it's kind of like just going into my pro debut and going into my second fight. I step in. I, first 30 seconds, first minute, I analyze my opponent, see how he's fighting, see how he's reacting, where his tendencies are, and then once I've, downloaded all the data, it's time to fight. So it's just like it's gonna be like this for honestly for quite a while. I feel like it's really hard to base people based on their last fight in the early stages because that level of growth, man, is just insane. It's incredible, right? Like in 6 months, you can be a totally different fighter in these early stages, as opposed to somebody who has 20 fights in. He's his pattern and his habits. They're already instilled in the mind, so they're gonna fight like that, right? You see those top level UFC fighters, they're gonna fight like that 9 out of 10 times. Unless you're Francis Ngannou versus Cyril Gane, and you decide to become the greatest wrestler in history for your for your professional title fight. But again, I can't base anything off of it. I don't know how he's gonna react against me. I don't know how I'm gonna react against him. But what I do know is it's gonna be a fight.
Well, I can tell you this much. If he's doing his research and he is watching tape on you, he understands what he's got to watch out for with you. He's got a very tall opponent that's very long and knows how to utilize all of his physical attributes very well. A guy that's got power, a guy that's not afraid to get in, an old-fashioned fist fight, and a guy that likes to put people away
Yeah.
fairly quickly. You know what I mean?
Hey,
You got two first round knockouts. I mean, it says a lot already.
I just love fighting, dog. That's all it really comes down to. Is you put me in the cage is closed, you call my name, it's time to fight. I don't really care what you got. I don't really care what your expertise are. Obviously, I'm going to respect them, but I'm not a cautious guy. Don't think I'm gonna overestimate you. Don't think I'm gonna underestimate you as well. I'm gonna give you just the amount of respect, but I have so much confidence in myself. That yeah, at the end of the day, it's a fist fight. If you can put me away, then props to you. But you're gonna fucking have some trouble.
Well, and unfortunately for your opponents, they haven't had success in that
No, not
whatsoever.
yet.
You know what I mean?
Not yet.
So it's very interesting to see just the way that fighters react once they step in a cage with you. They get the real first glance at weigh-ins. You know what I mean? But you're pretty sucked in. You're not yourself as you are in the cage, right? So, but then they get in there and they gotta feel that. You know what I mean? So I think it's definitely something that's difficult to gauge with, like I said, given your physical attributes. You pretty much got a lot of John Jones-esque stuff going on, a lot of physical gifts, not discrediting any talents you have, but your
No,
physical attributes pose a huge problem in your division. And I see it. I don't see very many guys being able to deal with the problem that you present.
it's funny that you said that because John Jones has actually been at our gym at Fight Ready. So I met him actually one time, and as soon as he looked at me, he goes, "What's up, big man? What weight you fight at?" And I'm just like, "155." He goes, "You kind of have the same body type as me, but at a lower weight class." I'm like, "Yeah." kind of do. And a lot, I get that a lot is, my fighting style is very like John Jones in the sense that I'm pretty big for my weight class. I'm standing 6'3". Even though I'm 155 pounds, I can move weight. Like I love to lift. I love to move weight. I love to just pick heavy shit up. So I don't really feel that I'm weak at that weight class at all. And honestly, I'm not a heavy guy either. There's a lot of fighters who, when they're cutting weight, they drop 20 to 30 pounds. I'm not cutting that much, to be honest. I cut tops 15 pounds is the most that I cut. So my muscle mass stays very lean, and I'm kind of grateful and gifted for that because I don't have to cut a lot of weight, but it's still very useful. I can still power clean 225 pounds. I can deadlift 405. It's still very useful. My bench, my bench
Earlier,
sucks though. My bench is the hardest. You can ask my coach, EK Warrior Sports. He laughs at me every single time I bench. When it comes to legs, I can move weight, but my bench is god awful.
well, thankfully, that's not part of the fighting criteria, right?
Exactly. I'm not doing no Pac-12 football, type liftings or anything like that. So thank God for that.
Well, I deadlifted about 15 pounds earlier, and the damn thing slipped out of my hand. So I'm safer on the other side of the cage with the headset. That's probably my lane going forward. But let's talk about that strength and conditioning coach. EK man is a wizard. So let's go ahead and dive into that.
Hey, he is wonderful. I met him about when I first came to Fight Ready. I met him probably about 6 or 8 months since I've been there. And my one of my head coaches, Santino DeFranco, told me if I'm gonna be anything in this game, I need to lift weights. That was the one of the few things first things he told me. And so he threw me over and told me you need to either be lifting. We had a couple different strength and conditioning coaches over at Fight Ready that we could choose from. I ended up choosing EK, Chad EK, with the EK Warriors. I'm actually really good friends with his son Chance, who's over at the lab now. Great guy. I love that entire family. Absolutely amazing family. But yeah, man, I started lifting with him since right at the end of 2020, and I haven't stopped lifting with him. And my strength level is just incredible. Like I'm 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 not the strongest guy, but I'm pretty damn strong for my weight class. And that's what surprises a lot of people, when they first look at me, they just see somebody who's tall, skinny, and weak. And then once we finally class or we lock or they try to take me down and they can't seem to take me down because I can push them away, or they go for submission and I can just pop my arm right out. Or when I connect with this hand, they don't expect that sense level of power with it behind it. So I do attribute all my strength and my, constantly pushing me to, Chad EK over at EK Warriors. I haven't, my level of strength has not been able to reach this level without him.
Well, and obviously it helps with the KO power, but that's a natural gift. You either got it or you don't, right? And you have been blessed with that. And I think it's awesome for me because I get to see these things play out firsthand right in front of me. Like I said, just on the other side of the cage, I get to see the type of power that you possess. I mean, when you clipped Chris, I mean, you were in a flurry, but the shot that put him out wasn't a haymaker. You know what I mean? It was just a powerful little shot.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of guys that they look for that their entire career and it never comes to fruition. And I mean, you're talking guys that are swinging, for the lights and
Mhm.
they're not getting it. So you're definitely blessed in that area. You know what I mean? I think they're doing a good job training you over at Fight Ready. Your IQ is off the charts for as young as a pro as you are. I can see, especially in this weight class, even at 70, you know what I mean? You could probably do good there, but it sounds like the weight isn't an issue. So I definitely like 55. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like 55. You pose a lot of problems.
If I ever hit 190, 190, 195. I'd probably fight at 170, but I'm not there yet. And once my metabolism actually starts slowing down as I get older, which is inevitable, right? That's especially being an Arab man, we all get big fat bellies as we're getting older. It's part of the curse of being Arab. So one day, kershi is that's as we call it, as our belly will get big and my metabolism will slow down, and then probably I'll start going up the weight classes. But for all I know, Jalen Turner, he's what, top 15 right now? Maybe I think he's might be 11 or 12 over at the UFC for the 55ers. That dude's also 6'3" and just stacked, strong, and just a deadly 55er. So it gives me a lot of confidence knowing that my body type is finding success in that weight class, and I don't actually have to put on more mass in order to compete against guys like that.
Well, see, how old are you?
26.
26. See, you're already doing better than me because the weight started piling on at 25, and that's what my dad told me. It must be a white man thing because my dad told me you can eat whatever you want and drink whatever you want and as much as you want, but be careful after you turn 25. And I'm like, bullshit. It didn't even take anything he said into consideration. And of course, once I hit 25, it's like, wow, what happened? I was this weight before, and now I'm fat. You know what I mean? It is what it is. And
Well,
I've accepted it, but I'm trying to also get rid of it.
yeah. Probably for me, it's probably because I work out so much. You're talking about 2, 3 workouts a day. That's a lot of calories being burned in a day, and I don't have enough time. And as much as I try to focus on my calorie intake, I'm probably not eating more than what I would need in order to actually gain mass. I probably, especially when I'm in training camp, I eat just enough where I'm constantly at the same weight. I am still gaining muscle, but a lot of my fat is burnt, and I don't really have a lot of fat on me to begin with. So I'm burning all that fat, and I'm just strengthening my muscle, and I'm eating just enough calories to, give me all the energy and the strength that I need to actually go through the entire day. But it's honestly hard, being able to eat, because I would probably need. I've actually done the math, but I would probably need to eat at least 4,000, 5,000 calories a day just so I can actually gain weight. Like I would need a lot because I burn through calories just so easily. And it's hard. I can't be sitting there in the kitchen all day cooking 6, 7 meals every single time. My mama don't live with me. My mom's still in Tucson, and it's just me who's in there cooking. Like I just actually had a nice plate of rice, vegetables, and chicken right before you called me. So I love cooking myself, but it's really hard to, and I don't like meal prepping at all. It's nasty. I don't want to eat chicken for once it's day 4. I'm not trying to eat chicken I cooked 4 days ago. It's really disgusting. I don't know how people do it. Hey, if you meal prep, more power to you. You got a lot of strength to you, but it ain't for me. It just ain't for me. So it is what it is.
Well, and it's funny too because my wife will try to meal prep and it never works out. It'll get left in the fridge. We'll forget it. You know what I mean? We've done a very good job with eliminating fast food for the most part. You know what I mean? There are times where it is a necessity. You're out and you just don't have time to get home to cook. Life happens. I get it. But we've done a real good job with cutting back on the fast food. Now I don't eat it while I'm at work. I bring food. Um, so as far as that goes, we're doing good, but the I don't know if I'm just not eating the right stuff or if I'm just not doing enough physically, because before my job was enough to take care of any extra pounds here or there, and now it's just not happening. Of course, I'm older, you know what I mean, so it's definitely different. But while we're on the subject of food, last time I had you on the show, you went through this. I mean, it was just absolutely stunning meal. So I don't know if that is the plan for this one as well, but I need to
Always.
talk about that victory meal again, please and
Oh,
thank you.
always, man. I could even give you another victory meal that I absolutely love. That's an Arab dish. Um, Actually, I have two, man. Two dishes that I love so much, and both of them are a lot more simpler, a little more simple than metluba is, which is the rice, the chicken, and all the vegetables, and it's all stowed and everything. Though, yeah, exactly. The other two dishes that I absolutely love, dude. First one is macarona bechamel, which is literally like an Arab version of a lasagna you know, but you don't use lasagna exactly, exactly. You don't use lasagna pasta. You just use like normal, like just any type of pasta. Honestly, you can use elbow or panini or anything like that. Um, but usually it's just that. It's just normal type of pasta, and then it's bechamel, which is like how do I say this? It's like a it's just like a special cheese that is used. I honestly don't know how to convert it into English and everything like that, but it's just what do you call? There's a special what do you call? There's a special cheese used for that, and then it's also ground beef and everything like that. And you can throw in some vegetables if you need to. It's all depending on your thing, but it's the exact same idea as cooking as lasagna. But it just kind of tastes different than a lasagna to me. You really have to taste it to understand the difference between macarona bechamel and lasagna. But the other dish that I absolutely love, and a lot of Arabs actually don't agree with this. It's 50-50. You either love it or you fucking hate it. There's there's not 100% agreement to this food. It's called mensef. It's a Palestinian slash mostly Jordanian actually. It's a Jordanian dish, and what it is, it's goat yogurt. So, and what you do is you pretty much or goat milk, I guess. It's like, but use you put it on a stove, so it's just a nice liquid, consistent base. And what you do is you also cook beef. It's always beef. Don't ever use chicken. If you're using chicken, it's wrong. And then you just use regular white rice. And there's bread. There's a breading on top of it, like a Arabic thin slice type of bread. And then the same thing as the matluba, roasted almonds and pine nuts. You can also use that. And it's very simple. So you just have the rice, the beef, and then the bread, and then the pine nuts, and you can even garnish it with. I think it might be parsley. I'd have to make this so I remember it, but I don't make none of these dishes. I don't got skills like that. But I think it might be parsley that is garnished on it. And what you do is you just put the bread on bottom, right? So you have this nice little flat bread on bottom, and then you put the rice and the beef that was cooked. You put those in together, and then with the pine nuts and the garnish, and then you just pour all the goat milk on there, and it's just I'm telling you, man, oh, it's so nice. It's so delicious. I'm just watering just thinking about it. And it's funny because my mom told me, she goes, "Hey, when I come to your fight this Saturday, I'm gonna bring you all that food." So I'm very excited to win and then eat a bunch of Arabic food, you know?
See, and I'm not, I think the last time we talked, I'm not like the most adventurous guy when it comes to food, but the way that you describe this food, it makes me extremely hungry.
Oh
And it fucking
yeah.
pisses me off because I don't have this food. You know what I mean? So we got to come together eventually in a kitchen or in some type of setting where I can have some of these dishes that you describe because
Oh,
they amazing.
100%. Like honestly, my mom would love to have you. Ramadan is coming around the corner. So it's gonna be all these dishes are gonna be made, and I'll probably go down there a couple of those days while I'm fasting. And you're in Tucson, right? Yeah, so exactly. So whenever I'm having a Ramadan dinner and I know my mom is cooking those meals, I'll invite you over one of those nights.
I would come, man. Come in a heart, not just for the food, not just for the
No, it's okay.
okay, but also to celebrate a huge victory that we're about to have February 25th. By all intents and purposes, you are going in on February 25th 2-0 with two first round knockouts. And if I'm just basing off of what I've seen of you, I really do feel as if you could walk out of there 3-0 with three first round knockouts. I've seen your skill set. I've seen what you're capable of in the cage. And I see the again, it goes back to the problems that you present to your opponents. If this is the guy that figures it out, props to him. but I haven't seen any tape on him. I haven't even had a conversation with him. You know what I mean? So I can only go based off of what I know, and what I know is Savage Bull.
Yeah. No, I'm glad that you know you're putting the money behind me, man, because that's a good strong bet. I don't again, just like the first time, I don't believe this is gonna go past the first round. My position in all of these fights is to finish my opponent, to finish him, and to get out of the fight unscathed. If it goes into a bloodbath, then it goes into a bloodbath. I have no problem either way. I don't care. I don't really care if it's an easy fight or if it becomes a hard fight. I'm gonna fight the fight.
Well, I'm just happy that we were able to. I mean, this is 3 fights in a short amount of time for you. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So you're not really taking a lot of breaks in between fights, which is huge for how young of a pro you are. You know what I mean? I think all of this experience that you're going to gain within this next year, you're probably going to be at one of the bigger shows should you keep up this kind of schedule and knocking fools out the way that you do.
No, 100%. I've got this is my third professional fight in 5 months. So it's been quite a quick turnaround. You're talking about end of October, beginning of December, and now at the end of February. And honestly, the way that I base my life around is I base it around the Ramadan schedule. I don't know if you're too familiar with that, but that's just a massive month break that Muslims, well, not break, but it's a holiday that Muslims take where we fast for 30 days from sun up to sundown, no water, no food, all that stuff. So usually that's how I base my schedules. And as soon as which is why I wanted to get this fight as soon as possible and do one more fight before Ramadan, because I'm gonna be taking a break after this fight for that month and getting ready for my holiday. So, but as soon as Ramadan is over, I'm back. I'm back in the cage and I'm training.
Okay, so what is the dates for Ramadan? What is the blackout window for you?
March 23rd to April 23rd, I believe this
Okay.
year, and it moves up. It moves up by the moon cycle, so it's not the same time every year.
Okay. Okay. So it's not like, hey, you all know that I'm not going to be here from March to April. It could be, March to March, from the beginning of March to the end of March, or same thing with April.
No, 100%. Yeah. So it's all moon cycles. It moves up about 10 days every year.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's part of your culture and part of your guys' tradition. So, gotta respect that. Gotta
Yeah.
respect that. You know what I mean? It does suck for those of us that love watching you fight in a cage. So what we'll have to do is we'll just have to put on the other fights on
Yeah.
until we're done with our traditions. But I mean, I really really do enjoy watching you fight. Like I said, John Jones is my favorite fighter of all time, regardless of his antics inside and out of the cage. You don't have to like the guy, but as a fighter, that guy is the best in the world, I believe, present company excluded. You know what I mean? Obviously, you're number one, but John Jones is my favorite fighter again, aside from you. And
Nah, don't you don't gotta praise
I
me,
see a
man.
lot of similarities. Well, right now, you're my favorite fighter right now because who's in front of me? Savage. That is who is
uh,
in front of me.
I appreciate it. No, I appreciate it. Well, it's very kind of you. But no, I'm somebody who also, respects my, elders, I guess would be it, even though he's really not that old. But, you gotta give, respects and thanks to the guys who led the way first, right? Who brought interest to the sport to begin with, like MMA, if MMA just started, this would not be happening. These interviews wouldn't be happening. No one would really care. I wouldn't have a following. No one would really talk about any of it. Everyone would just simply think, "Oh, you're just a weirdo who likes to go and fight." Which, if you really, if you take away all the stuff away, that's probably, the real foundation level of all of it. You either like fighting or you don't. That should be the foundation level. But now that the sport has grown so much and there's so much different opportunity, there's these fighters who can become, who can go and have their own podcasts, or who can become commentators, or who can start, their own little interview um company, It's really grown to be a bigger business than it was when it first started, which is absolutely wonderful. And the only reason it's gotten to where it is right now is because of the people who helped build it at the beginning, which is like John Jones and GSP and Benson Henderson, all those guys. Without them paving the way, there would have been no this.
But no, I 100% agree. I was just saying that there's a lot of things that you bring to the table that are very reminiscent of John Jones, and I think that's it's not just the physical attributes. You carry yourself in such a way, not like John Jones. You're very easy to talk to. I mean, we've gone 25 minutes already, and normally these things are over in 15 minutes. You're easy to talk to. You've got a very an easygoing personality. A lot of stuff that you teach me stuff. Obviously, I found the recipes fast enough, but I mean, I do feel that I learn a lot from you, and especially for the fights to come, and as you grow in your career, that's going to be extremely important, man. I think it's all up from here, honestly.
Hey, that's because you got to be praising yourself, man. You ask the right questions and you listen and you actually want to have a conversation with me. I've had interviews where it's just guys asking very oddly specific questions, and it's always the mundane, really, really cliche questions are always asked. Oh, are you ready? How have you been training? How do you feel like you could beat this guy? And it's like, yeah, man, everyone's gonna answer those questions the exact same way. If you even look at it, and like I've seen like the LFA interviews, some of them just are pretty boring. They're just the exact same thing over and over again. And I genuinely enjoy having a conversation with somebody who wants to have a conversation. It's, it makes things a little more interesting.
Well, I hate those types of interviews because if you wouldn't have signed the contract, you didn't think that you could beat the guy. And if
Exactly.
you didn't think you could beat the guy, you wouldn't be training. So obviously you're training your ass off because he's training, and it doesn't matter because you feel you can beat him. So what is the point of those questions?
100%. It's ridiculous. Or like when somebody will send me a random message who I barely even talk to, and they'll be like, "Are you ready?" It's like, what do you mean, am I ready? I wouldn't be in this situation if I wasn't ready. What are you talking about? What are you asking me that question for? If I wasn't ready, do you think I'd be stupid enough to jump into this?
It's crazy. It's crazy. I know. And I wish people would have asked me that for mine, but that's neither here nor there. You know what I mean? Because I would have told them, "Fuck no, get me the fuck out of here."
No, exactly. Sometimes I wonder what if I gave you that answer? What if I told you, no, I'm not ready. I don't know why I'm doing this. What would you say to that?
Honestly, I would probably drive over there and check on you and make sure that you're okay.
Exactly. What if I just start busting out crying right now? Just like, what if he knocks me out? Not that I'm making fun of him in any way, but I just mean it in a general objective sense of like, what if I said that? What's the appropriate response? Do you just end the interview right then and there?
Yeah, the appropriate response is, "Have you tried ballet? Maybe it's more. Maybe
Hey,
that's
there's
what's
there's
more."
recreational sports. I might join the bowling team around here after I'm
Hey,
done with
man,
all
I'm not good at
that.
but I love bowling.
Oh, I love bowling too, man. I love bowling as well.
You're probably sick at it though. You probably just with those long arms and all that fucking power. EK's got you like fucking throwing it 25 miles per hour. I
Yeah.
bet.
Yeah, if I get my aim down, if I throw it correctly, I'm always hitting a strike. Because it's funny because in middle school, for about 2 years in middle school, every Friday we would all go to the bowling alley. It was like a after school program type thing. So I actually was taught how to bowl. I'm not saying I'm no professional or good. I'm good at it. I'm not hitting no 200, 300 every single time when I'm playing, but I do like to finesse people when I play bowling with them for the first time because they always think it's going to be a fair game, and I just smash them. But there is actually one guy on our fight team that's really good. I don't know if you know who it is, but Ray Waters. I don't know if you know who that is. Ray Waters is actually incredible at bowling. I don't know if he still bowls now, but early on when we were first friends, he was always posting him bowling, and the man was actually hitting 200 to 300 consistently. Like that man has got some crazy bowling skills if I've ever seen them.
Well, I'll tell you what, Ray Waters is a guy that is no nonsense. And I bet you those pins are probably falling over on their own because they're terrified of how fast he's throwing that ball. Because he's also incredibly fucking strong.
Yeah, dude. Try getting punched in the face by him. It's not fun. It is not fun.
No, I'm definitely. I'm not in the business of getting punched anymore. So leave that to you professionals, okay? And I can say that because you're a professional fighter. Um, Now, look, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. Again, like I said, 30 minutes in, it felt like 5 minutes because it's been so fun. I love, love, love the post-fight victory meals. One of these days, we are going to indulge together.
Inshallah.
I look forward to that. And most importantly, February 25th at the Celebrity Theater. I look forward to calling your fight and watching you compete. Representing Fight Ready. It's going to be a damn good show. So, of course, at the end of every interview, I give my guest as much time as they'd like to thank whoever they'd like. So go ahead and take the floor.
Yeah, no, shout out to my entire team over at Fight Ready. Shout out to EK Sports, my coach, Coach Frankie Signs. You know, he's been in my corner for 3 fights so far, amateur, 2 pros, and now he's going to be in this one for our fourth fight together. He's been there in my corner, you know, constantly training me, getting me ready for all these things. Wonderful to have him on my team. Shout out to all the coaches at Fight Ready, Eddie Cha, Santino, Allen, even Austin, and Coach Angel Cejudo as well. Great guys. Shout out to my entire team. And then also shout out to all my sponsors. I'm actually wearing one of their t-shirts, FX Star Division. It's a motorcycle parts company out here in Phoenix, Arizona. Wonderful people. You know, they love me. They support me. Shout out to ETJ, ETJ. My bad. Such a weird acronym. ETJ. Shout out to those people. Great. They sponsor me as well. Dulce Bravos also sponsors me, and Pleasant Pools as well. You know, those are my top 4 big sponsors. And then I also have a couple mini sponsors, Pastelio, Razor Sharp, who's a barber, and oh man, this contracting company, Steamrollers, I believe is what they're called, Steamrollers Contracting. That I would have to look at their name again, but you know, shout out to all those people that make the dream true. They help me out, and you know, I always give them a good show. So shout out to everybody that's been here since the beginning, and you know, here on the road now.
Well, and also, if you're looking to connect with Loai and sponsor him on his journey, you can find him on social media at.
Loai Bull. That's LOAIBULL. That's my Instagram right there. That's the only social media that I have right now. That I'm pretty active in.
Okay. So definitely hit him up on that avenue. Of course, you can contact his management team, Roman Athletic Institutions, or Richie, myself, Jason. And I mean, we're all in this to help our fighters grow. So any way that leads to him, you know what I mean? You can find the road and we'll get you there. So February 25th, Celebrity Theater, RUF 52. It goes down. Louis going to take on James, and it's gonna be magic. It's gonna be magic. So before I get you out of here, do you have anything you'd like to get into the universe?
You know, just good health and a great year, man. That's all I really want. Did you know actually that I'm the main event?
Interview with man.
I know. I actually completely missed that. I just learned a couple days ago that I'm the main event.
Oh, that's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah,
Better way to end the night, in my opinion. There are
yeah.
some fights that I'm looking forward to, but the way that you fight, that is the way you want to end a night.
Yeah, no, 100%. I'm certain. I'm 95% sure. That's what Richie told me. He told me I'm the main event. I haven't really seen it being posted on Instagram page, unfortunately, but I'm fairly certain I'm the main event. It's either going to be me or Brett Cooper, who's also a really good fighter.
Well, either way, these fights are going to be absolutely insane. But definitely next time, lead with that. Hey, did you know that I'm like
Yeah.
that's definitely something that I'd love to dive
I
into.
apologize. It slipped my mind.
Well, obviously, it shows the state that you're not worried about it. Main event, first fight of the night. It's all about getting in there and getting the W. You know what I mean? So I don't think that main event status is going to affect the way that you get in there and do your thing.
No, no, not at all. It's at the end. It doesn't matter when I fight. Just let me fight.
Man, we know you love it, man. We know you love it. All right, February 25th. We'll see you there, my friend. Until next time.
Till next time, my friend.